Hello and welcome to today's chat where I'm joined by Victoria, the Chakra Medicine Woman, who is all about cosmic astrology and many other things. Today we are bringing you a transmission where we are going to be exploring what your inner guidance system is. How do you tune in and stay in your power? And what is Mercury retrograde and how can we work with these energies?
Hey, Jess, thank you. So grateful to have this opportunity. All right. What's your guidance system ended up being the topic header that came in for today for two reasons. One is we all use our guidance system, which is our intuition, our internal knowing. And I truly believe that any of the tools like human design or like astrology are here as aside with, as the external guidance system, so that we can reflect on it. We can use it as a tool to help recalibrate what we're trying to achieve. And I think, as I was mentioned before about our whole guidance system is been out of whack for centuries. And what we're trying to do is step up and step into it and work more deeply in an acceptance and an authenticity of who we are and feel free and safe around that. And I think any tool that can do that, whether it be human design, whether it be astrology, pranic healing, whatever your jam is, whatever you're drawn to, is it is a tool, and that's that, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And so the energies of today are really, really interesting because we've had a few massive astrological changes and movements, which are Pluto moving into Aquarius and Saturn moving into Pisces. And so these are, from a world point of view, these are really restructuring. It's bringing in, Pluto's bringing in the visionary, it's bringing in the technology, it's bringing in the AI, it's really amping up what we're doing, yeah? And Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is all about Saturn, instead of being the top-down structure where it runs very, Saturn's very much our security and our structure and our four walls and how it likes things to be done a certain way. And being in Pisces, in the deep spiritual, unconscious, conscious Pisces energy, I believe, bringing some structure around loosely termed spirituality, around your faiths and your beliefs. And it's not about having a dogged belief. It's about, for me, astrology is a wonderful tool that I can use myself every day and support my clients in service of.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not trying to just, sell the same thing all the time with the same concepts. And I don't want to go into religion because it's not a religious thing. it's separate from that. Alrighty, so
what you're saying is it's not dogmatic and it's very fluid.
But that's it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's fluid and it's movement. It's about moving. So it doesn't matter what system we have, what tool we have, where we are, everything is in perfect divine order. Everything is the yin and yang of all. Yeah. So if we focus on the 50% of the yang in that, then we'll never see the yin, and vice versa. So it's really important to try and emphasize. And this, to me, is something absolutely brilliant and new in the spiritual community. Because even when I started years and years ago, and I was looking around and studying different courses, and everything was, you've got to do it this way, and you've got to do, 14 swipes that way, and 14, massage was... righto. And so, of course, when you're learning somebody else's courses or programs or anything like that, you want to try and do it as the best as what you're interpreting that they're telling you to do. I get that. But what's happening now is that we're walking into our own. We're standing in our own power. We're saying, okay, that's wonderful. I can see this is an amazing tool and you're telling me to use it like that. Let me try it on and see. It's like an advert for a pair of stretchy jeans in the ad, and they're like, these are fantastic, these fit so well, and you're like, oh my God, they do look comfortable. Oh, she's right. And you want to buy them, but you actually want to try it on to see if that kind of stretch or fabric or the feel or the knit or the thickness is right for you and your environment. So it's that kind of energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as a guidance system, so what's happening now is Mercury's gone into retrograde. And a lot of people ask me, what is Mercury retrograde? What does that mean? Well, follow me down the rabbit hole. Come on.
But can I put here at this point and just say to everybody in our group, we are both 1-3 projectors. So we love rabbit holes and we love the depth of knowledge in our study. And we also like to be anarchists and to rip things up and say, this doesn't work. And so both of us, by saying to you, our main focus is you are the power. But anyway, go into Mercury retrograde because I'm ready for the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thanks, Jess. You are the power. And how this sits with you, it blows me away when people say, oh, Victoria said. And I'm like, yeah, like I did, but I also want you to, scroll past the ad if it's not working for you. All right. So when we talk about retrograde planets, most people believe that, what does that even mean? All right, so let's just take a minute and let's look at the astrology and my beautiful picture behind me. Think about our whole cosmic, beautiful universe that we live in, and the way that the planets move and circulate and travel around our sun. And each one of these planets play a role in our beautiful solar system. And each one of the planets, they all have a particular speed that they work at. They all have. So one of the things that blows me away the most about not just astrology, but about the world at large is that the things that appear to be still are never really still. They're just vibrating at such a dense rate that it's undetectable through the human psyche, right? So when we look outside of it all and we look into the universe and we think all of these planets are moving and everything has a frequency, everything is moving and pumping and vibrating in, and we're frequency beings. So we're plants and trees and animals and cosmic skies, and there's so many different connections that we can tap into. And one of the things I love about our solar system is that each one of these planets works at a particular speed, and that planet has an archetype. It has a particular energy that it's pulsating on the earth. So something like Mercury, which runs at 47.9 kilometers per second. Right, it's quick out there. So what happens when Mercury starts to slow down? It starts to slow down, and it appears that it's going backwards. If you should look at it through the lens of what's that
Telescope.
called?
Is it a telescope?
Telescope. Thank you. If you were to look through the lens of a telescope, you would think that Mercury looked like it appears to be going backwards, but it's actually just slowed down. So if you imagine that Mercury represents our voice, it represents our communication. Okay. And so as Mercury starts to slow down, it starts to go half of that speed. So therefore the vibration of Mercury against our planet, which then against our atmosphere, which then against our frequencies, starts to play a role in our own auric fields. Yeah, in our own blueprint of the cosmic journey that we're on. For me, with astrology, I see it as a blueprint. But the moment that we came into this earth, the moment that we were born, we came through the portal of astrology that in those exact moments where our planets landed within our blueprint are here as our guidance system to tell us a story that we can listen to or we don't have to listen to. But I tap in. Yes.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say, and jump in at that point. So great overlap here, of course, because obviously human design is a synthesis of many systems, and one of them is astrology. So for our projectors in the group, when we look at our Mercury gate, we are looking at what we are here to teach, what we are here to communicate, and what our soul is here to experience in that area. So really, if you want to look at what you're here to express, go down on your conscious. I think it's about 6 down. I could be wrong. Maybe it's a bit further. And on your conscious, on the black side, your personality side, and look at your gate, and that will be the energy and the expressions for you this lifetime. So
Ooh.
if you look at that and listen to what Victoria is saying, you'll see some connection.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Yeah, because and this is how everything is actually integrated one way or another. Like, you know, if we really want to think about it. So yeah, so the blueprint of astrology that we look at, it's so Mercury is actually our communication planet, right? So we'll just get back to Mercury. Sorry, went off track there.
My fault. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So it's traveling. It's traveling at half its speed. That means it's impacting the frequency of the planet, which means it's changing how the communication works on the planet. But not only that, Mercury is traveling through the energy of Taurus. So it's in this constellation of Taurus. So what does that mean? Well, it's time. One of the things they say with Mercury is not to do, don't sign contracts and don't, you know, because there's an influx of energy around communication, whether it be computers, whether it be our voice, whether it's however the communication works. There's an influx of energy that's going to potentially distort some of it. So what they say is to lay low on a Mercury retrograde and don't make any great big commitments where you've got to sign contracts for houses or businesses or different things. But for what I've learned and what I've pieced together is that, of course, you can still live your life in human form on the planet doing that. It just means that you take more time to read through contracts, you take more time, think, contemplate.
Yeah.
You kind of got to turn up your own awareness a little bit as well and rely, I guess, more on your own internal, what is that feels a little bit odd. Yeah, I might just give that a miss for a minute.
But what I'm hearing from you as well, and this is super powerful, because you hear many people, many astrologers, and everyone goes crazy on the internet around Mercury retrograde, as you say, don't do this, don't communicate. Oh, my computer's gone wrong because it's Mercury. But what I'm hearing is a very empowering message and a very important one. And it comes back to the foundation of everything. If we walk through life in deep presence and deep conscious awareness, then we can always rely on our inner authority to make the right choice in the right moment. And so all of these things can affect us, but they're never going to have an impact in a negative way if we are operating in presence and walking in life through awareness. So really, everything's great, but that's the core foundation. Just walk through life in presence and awareness.
Exactly. Hello. And I love that. Thanks, Jess, because and you're spot on. I believe that we probably did that many moons ago. Many probably centuries ago, and I feel like that was literally taken from us. The more we got taught to value everything outside of ourselves, and all of what will people think, and taking on all sorts of stuff that didn't support your own internal compass. And now we're leading the way to get everybody back to their internal compass. Yeah. So that's how I feel the energy's moving. And I watched it unfold in my clients as well, on a one-on-one sessions, and I can see people that were so far out of themselves trying to meet external expectations that just weren't working, to come back in and start that internal and bring it out. And Mercury retrograde actually gives you that opportunity, especially right now in Taurian energy. So, and it's good because it's a couple of things I wrote down today. It's a good time to consider what's worth your energy and time. Like, it's a really good time to consider what's worth your energy and time. With Mercury in Taurus, it needs time and space to think and process and just sit and consider. So we would say sit and consider with Mercury retrograde anyway, but in particular with Taurian energy. Taurian it rules the second house in a natal chart, okay? It's about your values. It's about your needs, your deeper needs of self and your value systems. So And especially now that this retrograde is in between this eclipse season, all right? Because the eclipses are between Aries and Scorpio, but the energy at the moment is we've got nodes. I won't go into the nodes too much, but the nodes are where we're heading, where we've come from, and it is very much the, I think it's the Ra tail, like it's the snake, it's the head and the tail moving through astrology, as they call it. And so we've had, oh God, there's been so much going on. It's like, I'll keep on to Mercury at the moment. So yeah, so really digging into, I would say use Mercury retrograde. If you want to know where it is in your chart, there is astro.com that you can put your birth details in and get a chart. And that'll give you some insight of where Taurus sits and some more information. It's basic, but it works. That's astro.com. But when you know where it sits, and because Taurus energy is, so Mercury is the voice, okay, so it runs the throat chakra, but it's sitting in our beautiful earthly solidness of Taurus. So it wants to contemplate, it wants to think, it wants to understand more deeply what's going on so it can make better value choices, right?
This is so amazing and so aligned, but yeah.
Right. And then Taurus is ruled by Venus, the heart. So here you are, you've got you've got the heart and throat playing this. Well, you know, listen to the heart. Is Taurus, Venus loves beautiful things. One thing to be mindful of is, you know, Taurians, that value system, it's around money, but you could overspend to try and make yourself feel better because you like pretty things, because Venus likes pretty things. So that's something to consider. But yeah, it's a really beautiful, it's like more listening. To me at the moment, it feels like go within, take some time. I know, you know, around the world there's spring happening. Around here we're just hitting autumn. That's regardless. Take some time, sit in and listen to your heart, and what is it trying to really ask you? What are you really doing? What excuses are you using? And not intentionally, you know, this isn't, you need to do so, I'm not being cranky, but it's what excuses are you using that, or aren't you allowing? Are you, where are you putting your energy that's not in alignment with your truest, deepest heart desire? Because if you come into here, when you go to communicate, your chances are pretty good it's going to come out aligned.
Absolutely. So beautiful. Yeah. And this is one thing I want to mention, because just before the call, we kind of spoke about, I was explaining that I'm really being pulled to just focus on my values, realign myself with what's important to me, where I'm using my time. And my whole journaling this morning was really all about how am I using energy? Why am I feeling annoyed and angry in certain areas? Where am I not honoring my own time? And what are my values, so that I can be compassionate, because I found myself wanting to not be as compassionate as I usually am. And I'm like, well, where's all that coming from? What are my values, and how can I embody and be who I truly want to be? So when we came on the call and you were like, well, this is what's happening and astrologically, and I'm like, oh, it's in pure alignment with what's coming through. So if you just get still, take your time, get your candle, get your essential oils, go into nature, ground, and listen, you will get exactly what you need. And I just want to mention at this point, like, I have need motivation in human design. Need motivation is simply this. I simplify complex ideas and I give you exactly what you need. I will take the whole system and go 3 things and just do that. And how I feel about human design is that it's just intellectual candy. I feel the only thing anyone needs to do is just get centered, tune into their witness, and listen. And if you do that, everything else will fall into place. You'll know your strategy. You'll know what action to take in that moment. You'll know what you need to do or let go. So that's my need perspective coming in. But I also want to say that when you do that, you then get you'll be in alignment with with all of the planets and the transits. Because another thing was, someone said to me, oh, you know, what's the transit right now, or what's going on? And I'm like, I never follow it. But what if I look at my journal and I look at the transits? They're aligned.
Perfect.
always.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. And most people, I think, would find if you know, if they took the time, to that oh, that's how I read a chart. I'll sit down, I'll look at someone's chart, I'll have a gist. But as they start speaking into it, I can start seeing it unfold, and then I'll just follow the pathways and have the answers that help them realign and regovern where they want to be. And it's only through using astrology as a tool and the guidance system of how it works for you. Because so for Taurus at the moment is traveling through the 11th house. So it's out in the world. We'll see people taking more time to consider doing different things out in the world rather than rushing right now. Okay, because it's groups, it's out in groups, different people are going to be reevaluating what they're doing and reevaluate the word value in there, you know, doing the value with what they want to redo, and or what they're considering. And if you know where it is in your own chart, then you know exactly how it's playing and whether you're in alignment for that. So really, really good.
That's the thing. So sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but it's like that's the beauty of human design, and what I'm hearing from you with astrology, and another friend called Denise Rowland, who also does evolutionary astrology. Like, she's like dripping me stuff that I've never known anything about astrology, so this is new for me. But it's like these systems help us to understand, contextualize, make sense of, and clarify, confirm, go, yeah, I'm on the right track. So they're valuable and great to be used. So even though you can get still and live your life and it's still beautiful to be able to go, oh, now I understand why that's happening, or what's going on for me, or where the limitation, without identifying creating a new story that doesn't exist. We go, like this morning when you said to me, oh, it's because like, what did you actually say? You said, like, there's this, like, you gave me an analogy about this volcano, cranky Mars, that was it, Mars going through a certain house, and it described this like inner conflict that I've been experiencing, which is so unlike me. I'm like, why am I angry? And then
it's there. Mars is traveling through that Cancer. It's there to brew up, to get the emotion in you moving, because for you're typically Earth, right? And air. So we need we need it. And I'll tell you what's really interesting is I run my days through the planets. So today is Mercury Day, actually. Today, Wednesdays is Mercury Day for me in Australia.
And in Spanish, it's like French, mercredi. Mercredi, yeah. So in French, Wednesday is mercredi, which is Mercury.
There you go. I did not know that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So for Wednesdays, I try and color code. I have a printout of all my stuff. So Wednesday's Mercury, so it's yellows and grays. Citrines. So it doesn't mean you can wear, I have my Chakra Medicine Woman earrings on today. So these have all my colors in them.
I just got the tremor of truth. So I feel like I'm going to get some yellow on and eat some yellow food today.
Yes. But let's channel some yellow in, because it's like that citrine sort of color. The herbs for it are lavender, right? Lavender and eucalyptus. And of course, communication and knowledge is our little thing on it. But citrine is for energy on a Mercury day when I'm dressing or putting my auroric field in color, if you like.
Yeah. Oh, we're having some technical issues. Oh, you're back. Good. Stay with me. Please, internet gods, work with me. You were talking about colours. It just cut out. So
Mercury, can you just stay? Yep, beautiful. All right. Let's talking about colours, the beauty of wearing the colours and setting the intention. So for me, I wear it through jewelry, because I love my jewelry, but You could do, anybody could just set it with the intention of drawing it down through their auric field, setting the intention for the best communication today for Mercury, to allow, whatever goes on in my communication channel today, that I allow it in.
Fantastic. Again, a really empowering practice for people to do and bring their conscious awareness into their lives, setting an intention and letting that walk with you through the day. Beautiful.
Yeah. You can literally just print it off and pop it in your bathroom, and I have it where I get dressed, so I can just look up and go, oh, what? So sometimes I get up and go, is it Thursday or Friday? Oh, that's right. So I love Friday. Green's my probably biggest vibrational color, and Fridays is Venus Day, so I wear green Fridays.
Yeah, and in my garden is like an evergreen garden, so I always call it the Anahata garden because it's just green everywhere. There's like a willow tree, there's firs, grass, everything's lush, and it's just pure shades of green. So I'm looking at it right now, and that garden makes me feel so. Actually, I've got some green bottles too, but I was like, oh, this is the heart garden, the Anahata garden.
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful space to be in. So yeah, colors really affect us. And so I love, actually, is there any chance you could give us the scan of that PDF that we could upgrade?
Yeah, I'll scan it and send it through. Yeah.
And I'll put it in the group.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so let's, is there anything, go on.
Couple of things. We've still got a little bit of time.
Yeah, we've got time.
Couple of things. So opportunities to look for in your life around Mercury retrograde. So apart from the ones we've just discussed, which are amazing, you work out, simplify. It's a time to simplify and work out what doesn't work for you now. Okay, why it's important now, why Mercury is, everything has its reasons, everything moves within its frequency because it's opening up and it's moving and it's shifting for the next thing to come in. At the moment, we have Jupiter in Aries, right? It's very energetic, and Jupiter's like expansive and wants to get in there. It's, that seems like a good idea. Whoa, it's big. But soon it's going to move into Taurus. And so now, while Mercury is going through, this is the best time to work out your value system, to realign who you are. The values that we were given when we were younger, stuck to different and old, maybe perhaps outdated belief systems. And I'm not talking about letting go of traditional things that fill your heart, because Taurian's very much associated with tradition. I'm talking about really, really evaluating and going, well, certain values actually just don't hold true to me anymore.
Yeah.
And that, what I used to do and how I used to run my life, and that was great, and it ran it as it needed to. But now, who I am as an evolved being and how I understand and where I want my life to go, even better, work your values out to where you want to be. What value is going to get you to where you want to be? I would say, I mentioned this book to you the other day called, and I'll pop this over for you to put in the chat as well, The Life Priority Calculator, the calm way to get the life in order. And I've had this book for years and when I was in corporate world and things. And it's got lots of words and little things, and it's really wonderful to expand your awareness and vocabulary around value systems, so that you just, if you're stretching for something. So I'll pop that in the chat later as well, and I'll scan that for you. So yeah, that's why it's really important right now, is to do the reevaluation, to really work out what's going on, to take the time to readjust. And for me, seasonally, I think that's the energy of the season. It's a readjustment now. We're just sort of working out. That's why we clean our cupboards out and we do our spring cleans and do all those sorts of things. So Mercury's really got a lot. It's really got a lot to offer, this particular retrograde. Being smack bang in an eclipse, the eclipse is portal, is already energy of evolutionary change and awareness around what you want to achieve and what you're trying to, what your soul is here to really contribute to.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a really, really important time. Now, and what else? Oh yeah, we talked about that. So one of the other things, I don't know, a lot of people know about is the Bach flowerities. Bach flower? Do you know
I'm not
Bach
sure.
flower?
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Not
that.
familiar?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, some people are. So this is my little Bach flower remedy by Dr. Bach.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
All right, so they're it's essences from the flowers.
Yeah.
So for Taurus or Taurian, it's called genitane. So, and I wanted to read this out. So I think this is beautiful. They're high frequency essences. I make them up. I have my own essences. You can get them off me.
Do you
Contact me
want
directly.
to
I can
show
make
one
you
of
up.
your bottles? Do you want to show one of those bottles?
Oh no, these are Chakra Medicine. My
Oh.
essences are big brown bottles, totally different.
Right.
But I can send them out wherever you need it, or just Google locally where you might be able to get them, because they're really powerful, because the Dr. Bach is incredible. Essences of the plant. So genitane is for Taurus. So I'll read this quickly. It says, restore the soul quantities of trust and faith for those who are easily discouraged by small setbacks, often appearing pessimistic or cynical due to their inability to see the positive resolution in any problem.
Sorry, I'm laughing for two reasons. One, because the three line in the low expression, or if life has been hard for you, and you know, can be that describes the three line in its lowest expression. So the three line is like Eeyore, like, oh my God, nothing's working, setbacks are hard, they're not bouncing back. So it made me think of the three line archetype as well. But beautiful, that's fantastic. Really useful. I love oils.
Yeah.
I think having more intentionality around using them can really help you in your practice and your life. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tool for me with clients. Like, and only if they need them and they vibrate towards them, I'll make them a bottle up and send them home with a bottle to support where they're going. Because I do specific chart bottles, so you can put up to seven flower essences into a bottle, and I do specific chart. So I'll take the 7 key categories into the chart to help people to support them. There's a few drops that go under your tongue, so it's the essences.
Can I ask you a question at this point as well? What are all these services that you offer? So you do your astrology and you give people chart readings. What else do you do as well?
I'm a pranic healer. I'm a bodywork therapist of 25 years. So a lot of people call me a medical intuitive. So I work with the physical body, but also I'm still studying astrology. I've been doing it for several years, and I'm still studying medical astrology. So being able to sort of identify in the chart, and more the study for medical astrology. First of all, I can already pick up psychically, mediumly. That's what I work with, spirit and psychic medium kind of work, and I have done for many years. But using these tools, now that we're all online these days, and I can't be in somebody's physical aura or have them on the bed where I've got my hands on them. So developing these tools to sort of, get more accurate results around that. But Chakra Medicine Woman, if you want to flip my
Insta.
Website.
Oh, your website, website. Sorry, it's what?
Yeah. It's www.chakramedicinewoman.com.
Good.
And
I'll put that in the link. Yeah. But I just want to add that yesterday as well, we had a session, and I had a beautiful healing during our session, and it was Victoria was able to like tune into my chakras and see where there was a blockage between the sacral and the solar plexus, and that was completely aligned. I'd already been channeling there was something going on, and she was able to do something, and I felt vibrant and happy and really, really vital. So if you guys, I cannot recommend her highly enough, and that was just a small quick thing. So yeah, just putting it out there. She is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it helps to have someone who's tuned in and open and ready to receive. That's always you were really ready. And energy is it can run anywhere, isn't it? Like once we tune in, that you don't have to be in front of the person. This is a gift of COVID and all the lockdowns taught me, is that you just, at the time on the computer and working with people is so profound. The work I can do now worldwide.
Exactly, and that's because we are moving into this global age where it's multidimensional. It's beyond time, beyond space, beyond even timelines. But I actually want to jump in there as well and say why this is talking of remote healing. Why we, the three of us, Emily and Christine, are also offering the Sunday Frequency Spa as a group energy medicine experience on Sundays, because we want to bring energy work to the masses. We want it to be the same as brushing your teeth. And that's why we're doing it at $33 for a group session, because it is so impactful and it can transform how, like, if you're feeling groggy, sluggish, low vitality, a bit negative blocks, and I was feeling it like 2 weeks ago. I was just like not myself. And as soon as I started, and I knew, I was like, okay, you need to start doing your own energy work, but giving energy as well. And as you do that, I've shifted, and because it lifts the debris. But yeah, go on.
Well, no, that's brilliant. I can't wait for this Sunday night. That's going to be amazing, because there's two things about that. One we just spoke about earlier in the session is Saturn going into Pisces, so structure going into spirituality, and here you have developed the healing chamber. So timely. And the second thing is that the healing chamber is so important and so profound, because we're all looking for somewhere to be, access, tune into, so that we feel supported. And there's more of these little schools and centres and chambers and things all starting to build on the globe. Because I believe with Saturn in Pisces, because there's an opportunity there for more structure around it and people to visit. And it's not a cult. It's not, I say to people, it's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's somewhere to show up and tune in and tap into your higher self and bring in your guidance, so that you too can benefit from the expansive power that happens when profound healers come together and set their intention.
Oh, yes to that. And it really is profound, and it really is deeply powerful. And we keep calling it the power of three, because three of us at the same time with that deep intention, it's unlike anything I've experienced before. So yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Beautiful. Yeah, so a couple of other things to consider too over the Mercury retrograde, and that is lymphatics, right? So your lymph net, all your lymphatics, making sure that you can get a lymphatic massage or something like that. But Google some stuff that's good for lymphatics. You can do your own gentle work. It's the lymph nodes sit just under the skin. So if you, instead of massaging hard, just gently moving, it helps it helps detox. So
I find myself doing that on my belly actually quite a lot. Just lightly moving, and if you lightly go over your belly, you'll feel like little bits just moving around. That's quite nice.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. That's gorgeous. So that's kind of, that's kind of, I mean, we could keep talking.
I think we should wrap up and do it again. We could do a new talk whenever you like. I'd love you to come. I'd love you to come and share your wisdom and your
Thank you. This is so nice. Just as we're talking, because there's so many different things. So at the moment, the moon, when we were talked about doing today's talk, I looked it up, and the moon is 16 degrees Cancer, and Mars is 16 degrees Cancer. So I knew the moon is the mother. It's the emotion. It represents the emotional body in us. So when you're reading astrology, you've got the sun represents the personality in the outer world. The moon is the inner world and the deeper, nurturing, deeper part of us. And so right now we've got the moon, mother. Moon loves being in Cancer. It's home in Cancer. It's beautiful. Right next to Mars, who is, our warrior and our fighter. And so, what I would say tuning into that is look in your psyche at where you crack the whip on yourself unnecessarily, where you're fusing up that warrior time and image. what I found between the new moon we had last week and the full moon we're about to have, I think around the 6th, 7th of May, and that is, this image came to me, downloaded full on in, is take that Mars energy, our sword, pop it down in the sand in front of you and just rest. We don't have to fight at the moment. We don't have to battle anything. We just have to be.
Yes.
It doesn't mean, feel that. I get goosies. It was like,
that's exactly how I'm feeling as well. I really am.
It's not the sword yet. We just got to, I can pick that sword up anytime I need to. That's okay. But right now, I actually don't need it. I just need to be here and just be still. And
I actually want to jump in and add something here as well. It's just what I found this week as well. Like, obviously, talking of like the values. This morning, the thing was coming through very strongly in my journaling around what are my values, is my behavior aligned with who I truly want to be, and all the things. So it was like really coming up. But what I've noticed this week is that I've cut out meat. I'm like, I just want to eat high frequency food. So it even began with actual behavior and what I'm consuming. I was like, I just need I've been eating very light. So my body's like, you just need light. I've been eating just very high frequency food. So quite, vegetables, salads, light, cutting out meat, didn't want anything like that. And so that's another thing that I don't know if you can shed any light. Is that part of that to me, or is it something you think on a wider scale?
Well, okay, well, it's twofold for you. For you, that's your intuition and your body telling you what you need right now to raise and to keep its frequency raised because of the work you're doing and the leader that you are for us in our community, but out of what you're connected to the leaders of the bigger picture in the world, like the frequency needed. So, and that works for you perfectly. The other thing is Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Taurus is all about food. And it's all about good food, and it wants tasty food, and it wants high frequency food, or it wants quality food, or whatever that happens to be. If I don't want to dish vegans or dish meat eaters or anything like that, but it's really what your personal choice is in that moment, where you value that food that goes in, because that's got the frequency that you're looking for, that's going to then, if you're looking for higher frequency and you haven't carved out time in your day to prepare something that's going to honor that food, and you drive through McDonald's, well, that's not going to match where you're at. So well done again.
I'm really happy and I'm feeling great. But what is interesting as well that you mentioned about it's my intuition. This is why I don't talk to people about diet and human design as PHS. Now, on one level, some people say that PHS was created after Ra anyway, and it was just like a money spinner. But number two, I always say to people, like when people say to me, "Oh, what's your PHS? What's your this or that?" And I'm like, I just follow my intuition. Like I eat what I need to eat. What my body feels called to eat. So that's what I advise people to do, because your body knows. It's not about following somebody else's external rules about what you should like. I know for a fact that I need to eat little and often. Like that's how I operate. Human design shows me that that's actually right for me. But I wouldn't ever advise anyone to just follow something, because tune into the body and what it needs and allow yourself to go with that, because the body is the ruler. That's the vehicle. Like if you could just trust your own body, you'll thrive in this life. Again, that's one of the need things. So 2 need things. 1, slowing down, getting your neutral observer, getting centered. You'll be guided and you'll follow your intuition. 2, you don't need to follow external guidance around what to eat. You can just tune into what you physically need and you'll be guided. I guess there's going to be caveats around that if there's trauma, stuff like that. But I think
emotional stuff. I know. I love that's perfect. Spot on. It's the emotional. I know for me personally, when I have there's an emotion, I can tell what when I'm trying to eat emotional. I've worked that out now. What's my emotional food, and what am I really asking for? And Yeah, and it just takes practice, and it takes time, and it takes, my God, you know what, it takes self-compassion. We're
Yeah.
all looking for what self-love is. Well, what is self-love? I think that title in itself is so broad because it's unique to each one of us, how we operate, what we need to function and feel whole and feel full, not
Mm.
just physically, but feel full of light. And I think self-compassion is the first thing to start with. And for me, Ho'oponopono
Oh,
prayer is one of the most beautiful, brings in the compassion. It's beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, I,
absolutely.
you know,
And again, that's about in
yeah.
the moment awareness. So it's like, let me come into the moment. Let me be at peace with what is. And again, I'm going to mention, because I don't mind sharing. We did a beautiful practice yesterday where I was trying to get rid of a shadow aspect, or a feeling of not feeling competent enough. And it's a one-line shadow as well. But this is
Yeah.
something that plagues me. And I'm not scared to say it, because I think the more we open and tell people the truth about how these things
Oh,
are playing
working
out,
on our stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what you brought me through was like acceptance, and I do practice that sometimes, but it was in that moment I wasn't. And you brought me to, and that acceptance of that feeling and that archetype playing out really integrated so deeply into the cells of my body that I
Mm,
suddenly felt whole
yeah.
again. And that is
Yeah.
what happens with the power of accepting and integrating your shadow, loving it, and letting it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
powerful woman.
that's one of the works I do, is bringing people, bringing everything back into wholeness,
Yeah.
because that's part of what I do when I work one-on-one, when I do my whatever it is, because I've been studying for 25 years, lots of different modalities. I've meshed them, some together, some uniquely on their own, depending on what's required. I'm a
Mm.
genome healer. Like, I work deeply with the genomes and the epigenetics and the cellular level when I'm all of this kind of work. And one of the things I've learned for myself during wanting to get rid of, I know I want to cut, I did cord cutting things, and I've done it. Now I don't cut anything. I transform it. I
Yeah.
accept it. I transform it. I let it play. I let it be. It's not necessary. Yeah.
So
It's
wonderful,
beautiful.
absolutely beautiful. And
Yeah.
there was that's something that just popped into my head as well, and it's making me smile because obviously through my own healing journey and the trainings that I've done, but it's not my full profession. My true profession is teaching, and teaching people skills, and teaching people how to write content, copy, whatever it is that's going to help them be successful on the material realm. I have the
Yes.
background in epigenetics and belief and subconscious and NLP, and done loads because I did it for myself first. But it's
Yeah.
not my life work. It's not my passion, you know.
No.
I
Yeah.
do
And you
it,
can
and
draw in, just pull it
I
in as you work.
yeah,
That's
and
what I love
obviously
about it.
right, and creating the ease system as well, the energetic alignment system, and teaching people stuff like that. However, what I wanted to say as you were speaking, you spoke about working deeply on the genome level. What I'm seeing now is me stepping into my pearl sequence, which is the gene keys, where you move out of your activation and accessing your genius through your emotional intelligence level and your Venus sequence, so you can become the person who can have good interrelationships, be a leader, be emotionally intelligent, so that you can then connect with your soul family and then have deeper levels of impact, influence, and power in the world to do your life work and express that contribution and that creativity.
Yeah.
And with my highest life work is 54. I am here to create a new paradigm of collaboration, connection,
Yes.
creativity,
Yes.
and bringing people together to form powerful pods where it's not working alone. And I have the unit 9.3 as my culture, so I'm better in a team. But I'm finding now is that I'm drawing to me all of my team, basically the team that I can go, okay, I'm not this is the work I do, but you can go to Victoria and do this, you can go to Christine and do that, you can go to Emily and do this, or there's
Yeah.
another lady, and actually they're all Australian. That's so weird. Danica, or Dan. I call her Danica because I'm English, but I think her
Yeah.
name is actually pronounced Danica, and that could be just an Australian accent. My name's
I
Danica.
like Danica.
But I'm like, here are my team, like this is my squad, so I can help you with this. But if I see intuitively you need this kind of work, I'm going to guide you, so I don't have to do everything. Whereas in the past I was like, I need to be the healer, I need to be the this and no, I don't want that. I want to focus on my skill set, which is teaching you how to express yourself creatively, how to make money doing your service work. And so I'm loving what's happening right now as well.
That's beautiful.
Saturn and structures, like that kind of, that's how it's working for me in my life. Okay, thank you so much for coming in. If anybody in the group wants to, sorry, I shouldn't interrupt. If anyone in the group wants to reach out to you, they can get you on your website. They can get you on Instagram as the Chakra Medicine Woman. We will we'll bring in the color frequency stuff into the group, and we'll perhaps put a link to the bark essences as well.
Pop in that.
And you can just jump in and introduce yourself so people can connect as well. And if you guys have questions, put them in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Let's share, grow, evolve, expand, elevate together, and deep love, deep understanding.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Jess. It's so nice. It's so nice to talk about what I love. So thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Sending so much love. I'm just going to stop the recording.
Bye, God. Thanks.
More. So stop.